Did the Giants make the right move by pulling Tugboat early? Let's talk about it right here on Locked On Giants.
You are Locked On Giants, your daily San Francisco Giants podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. My name is Alan Stiles, talking Giants baseball with you Monday through Friday. And on today's show, it is going to be a fun one as we discuss Tugboat and what he did in his debut. It was a short debut, but it was a debut nonetheless. We're also going to talk about starting to break down Rafael Devers and his return, and the Giants pick up another pitcher, a lefty, Philip Abner, off waivers. What could he bring to the table? Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. So let's start with Tugboat and his debut. Like I said, it was a short-lived debut, but a debut nonetheless. This is from ESPN.com. Victor Barracoto had an RBI single. Welcome back, Victor Barracoto. Matt Wilkinson worked 2 innings as an opener in his major league debut against a team that drafted the left-hander, and the San Francisco Giants beat the Cleveland Guardians 1-0 on a Wednesday night. So a little bit of drama, a little bit of revenge get back for Tugboat. The 23-year-old allowed 1 hit, a little more than 3 months after Cleveland's 10th round pick in the 2023 amateur draft was acquired from the AL wildcard chasing Guardians. He was the franchise's first Canadian-born pitcher to make his big league debut as a starter since Tip O'Neill for the New York Gothams in 1883. So save that for your trivia. Wilkinson faced 7 batters after being called up from AAA Sacramento. Adrian Hauser struck out 3 while allowing 4 hits and 2 walks in 5 innings, and Dylan Smith had 5 strikeouts over the final 2 innings for his 3rd save in San Francisco's second 1-0 victory this season, which seems crazy. Devers scored from third with 2 outs in the 4th when Barracoto's sharp grounder in the hole bounced away from diving shortstop toward the left field line. Adames had 3 singles, and Jung-Hoo Lee added a single and a double. Parker Messick tied his career high with 10 strikeouts while allowing 6 hits in 6 2/3 innings. Well, we know that if the Giants are going to do anything, they will strike out. We do know that. Doesn't matter rain, sleet, or snow, the Giants are going to strike out a good bit. But I thought, Tugboat looked good. It actually was a pretty big topic. Again, the nickname might be doing some heavy lifting there, only because the Giants promoted the heck out of it. Then you got fans, I guess, excited or riled up about it, however you want to call it. And then you pulled him after 2 innings. So some fans were not happy about that. Some fans think that he should have pitched longer. If you look at what he has done so far in his career, if you look at what he was doing in Sacramento, he had 42 2/3 innings pitched, and that was between 10 games, right? So that's basically a little more than 4 innings a game. So it's hard to expect a lot. And I guess, they could have kept him in for a couple more innings, but they really wanted a soft landing. More importantly, I think the Giants just wanted a good story. And I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I'm not saying that Tugboat doesn't belong to be in the big leagues. I just think they wanted that day to be a win against his former team and getting an opportunity to face a good amount of lefties one time through the order is what the doctor ordered for the Giants. I don't think they wanted anything going squirrely, and Adrian Hauser has been really good in this long relief role. Obviously, he wants to get back into the rotation, and that's what the Giants brought him in to do. We understand that, but that is, I think, what the Giants wanted and why they went about it that way. Some people are saying they pulled Tugboat too early. Some people are saying they did exactly the right thing from the baseball perspective. I'm going to take it outside the baseball perspective. I think that they felt this was the right thing to do from a couple different perspectives, and baseball included. But I think the argument against taking him out is what we've always said. Well, he's averaging 4.3 innings a game. You're not playing for anything. You didn't have the lead when you took Tugboat out. So it wasn't like we have to preserve this lead and we don't know what he's going to do. Nobody had done anything yet. So it didn't make a ton of sense to pull him so quickly. But I think they just wanted his confidence to stay where he was at, the good vibes, Jeff Passan talking about Tugboat, everybody talking about the debut. And he said all the right things at the end of the game. He said, look, I'm here to do whatever I need to do to help the team win. It's not about singular stats or whatever the case is. I just want to help the team win. And that was refreshing to see. I don't know that every player on the Giants has behaved that way this season. Hey, well, I'm going to play because I feel like playing, or I'm going to play because I want to make sure that I do X or Z or whatever the case is. Tugboat's coming in as a rookie. I just want to do whatever I need to, or whatever they ask me to win a ball game. I don't know that he's going to be a starter. I said this before we saw him pitch. No strikeouts. He did get a lot of soft contact, and that's exactly who he's going to be. And you can pitch for a long time pitching to soft contact. I mean, he's in the big leagues for a reason, right? He made it here for a reason. Shout out Canada. He made it here for a reason, representing his country, his family. We saw him in the World Baseball Classic. So we've seen him be effective. I simply don't know, right? And I can't say that I know anymore, because that's the thing about being a starter. The whole idea of being a starter is you have stuff that is good enough to make hitters miss multiple times through the lineup. We did not see Tugboat multiple times through the lineup. So that is not something that we can at this point say, oh yeah, he can do that at the big league level. Now, hopefully we see it before the season ends. I think the Giants have created a bit of a mini monster here, where everybody is going to be looking forward to what Tugboat does. Everybody is going to be paying attention to what Tugboat does. So I don't think it's going to be very easy for them to simply, skip over him or say he's just going to come in relief. I think they probably, for lack of a better term, owe him and the fans at least one more start, see what he can do, especially in a season like this. You're not going to get very many seasons to play, as I would call it, free baseball. So you might as well take advantage. Next segment, we start to discuss Rafael Devers' return to the Red Sox. Obviously, the Giants have a day game today against the Guardians, but figured we would start to have that conversation because there is a lot more Locked On Giants coming up. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all the sugar. That's why the Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shot brings that nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shot treats your taste buds to an explosion of fruity flavor with a tasty caffeine kick. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. I love that there's zero sugar and it's sweet tooth approved. I like how convenient it is too. It's just a small portable shot I can grab whenever I need a little pick-me-up. It's become my go-to when I want something sweet without going overboard. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Whether they're good or bad, there is nothing like watching a Giants game. Even better when you get to watch it live. The excitement, the fans. The only problem, getting tickets can feel like a grind. Long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's where there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. The seat views feature is huge. I can see the panoramic view from my exact seat, before I buy. Zone Deals lets me pick the section and save even more while Game Time selects a seat. You can follow your favorite team and get alerts when new deals drop. I've seen some tickets drop as low as $10, 2 taps, and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats in minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide last minute to hit a game. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. As we continue the conversation, this is basically a preview because I'm going to speak with Gabby Maljanian. That is tomorrow, a crossover with the Red Sox. And we felt like there was definitely enough meat on the bone to have a conversation between myself and Gabby because the Giants seem to have somewhat of a relationship with the Red Sox. They did the Devers deal, then they do the Eric Miller, Marcelo Meyer deal. So that's a lot of fun, or it's going to be a lot of fun. And we have that for you coming up tomorrow. But I wanted to start the conversation. I know when the trade actually happened, we talked about, or the anniversary of the trade, we had a bit of a re-rack on the deal, but I wanted to do it again because Rafael Devers has, played a little bit better, and word on the street, he is just right under 800 for the OPS. He's at 796, batting average 240. He's hit 45 home runs for the Giants. I think if you asked most Giants fans how many home runs has Rafael Devers hit for the Giants, I don't know that I would have said 45, 120 RBIs. And of course, he's played a pretty solid first base. I don't know that he would be in any Gold Glove conversations, but he's still getting used to it over there. And I don't know, for me, it's been a bit confusing, the whole thing, because he's done basically what he's done. If you compare his numbers in San Francisco to what he did in Boston, I think the biggest difference here is the batting average. He was 39 points higher. So 9 years in Boston, he's at 279. And like I said, he's at 240 for the Giants. On base percentage is comparable, 349 to 330, and slugging 510 to 466. I mean, down, but not terribly down. So then that, you do the math there, 859 to 796. That clearly matters. The average feels the most glaring, even though the OPS is actually a bigger difference. But when you watch him play, or everything that he's kind of done so far, it does feel like he's so close. He's so close to getting over the hump and returning back to what he was. I mean, his WAR in Boston was 25.2. I don't even know how that is possible. And he's at a 3.5 in San Francisco. So no, I mean, obviously it hasn't worked out. The team hasn't been great. It just hasn't worked. But I don't know. Yesterday we talked a little bit about blame and who to blame. You want to blame Buster. You want to blame Zach Manassian, you want to blame Tony Vitello. The Devers thing, to me, there have been some situations, right? The Will Clark thing, they tried to debunk that. The finger heard round the world when he says, "Oh no," or Vitello said, "Oh no, he's just trying to let me know he's good to run." Okay, right? That's not true, but okay. Then he blamed it on the media, of course. So yeah, it's definitely been rocky. And I don't know. I look at Buster Posey, and it just feels like if you were to tell me Buster Posey was going to take over as president of baseball operations, I don't think and then you asked me to guess the moves that he makes next. The only move I feel like I would have said, yeah, that feels like something Buster Posey would do. The only move would be the Matt Chapman extension. And I know he was in the building for that, even though he wasn't officially the president of baseball operations at that time. But that's the only move, right? I would not have seen him signing Willy Adames, and that's no disrespect to Willy Adames, but just doesn't seem like that type of Buster Posey type of player. I definitely wouldn't have seen him signing Tony Vitello and adding a guy that has no Major League Baseball, pro baseball experience, right? Player or as a coach manager. And I don't think I would have seen Buster Posey trading for Raffy Devers, not because Raffy Devers can't play, but simply because Raffy Devers and what he brings, everything that he brings to the table on top of the contract. So you have him, he's in the 4th year of a 10-year deal. And you're really putting a lot of stock into that 1 year. Honestly, you're putting a lot of stock into 3 months, right? Because the season started, they made the trade in June. So that's 3 or 4 months to make a move like this. And, now you have to deal with the juggling of Bryce Eldridge and Raffy Devers. I don't know if Buster thought that the deal would be able to happen again, or if he thought that Raffy Devers had a tradable contract. At the time, he also didn't think that the Red Sox wouldn't even have the guys that, or I think they have one guy left in single A, would have the guys that they traded Raffy Devers for. So it was essentially a salary dump. So I don't think that Buster, I don't know if he had to do over again. He doesn't like talking about regrets, but to make a move because the Giants had a hot 4 months, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I wasn't excited when it happened, because I was, but I'm not the president of baseball operations. It's not my commitment of 10 years to Raffy Devers as he is transitioning to a less premium position at first base. So that is my problem with the deal. Obviously, when people say, oh, well, all the fans liked it when you made the move and now you want to complain that it's not working. Yeah, we're fans. We're going to be happy when things get moved. But then if it doesn't work out and then you say, oh, well, move off of him. Oh, well, we can't now, right? That's not fans. That's not their job. And I need Spot Track to update this. They still have, I think they still have Raffy as a third baseman. And as a third baseman, he's the second highest paid player in the game. Okay. Him and Manny are both at 31 million a year, and Manny has an extra year. He's at 350. That's even worse. All right. He's already 30, and he has they're both done in 2033. So that's a terrible deal for the Padres. But hey, that's, shout out Slam Diego, if they still call it that. Devers at 313 mil, but we actually have to look at the first baseman because that's where he's playing. Out of the first baseman, Bryce Harper, again, kind of got moved. Vladdy, that $500 million contract, that is probably going to look bad. I mean, he's been bad this season, so that's going to look bad. Pete Alonso is so interesting because he signs a 5-year deal with the Orioles, $155 million. I think if you compared Pete Alonso and Devers, now that Devers is at first base, off the top of my head, I would consider it pretty comparable. And Pete Alonso essentially got half that deal, and the Giants, again, Pete Alonso, if I'm not mistaken, right? He just signed, so he was a free agent. It just felt very short-sighted from the Giants. Pete Alonso, his career 254 batting average, his OPS is 857. This season he's at 857. I know the Orioles haven't been good. He's got 293 home runs on his career. He's got 29 this season. Raffy has 25 this season and 260 for his career. So they're super similar. They are very, very similar. And Pete Alonso is 31 years old. So he's older, right? Yeah, he's slightly older than Devers, but he didn't get anything near it. Did not get anything near that contract. So, and just to look at accolades, Devers, 3-time All-Star. He did win a World Series in 2018 and 2-time Silver Slugger. You have Pete Alonso, Silver Slugger, 5-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, and 2-time Home Run Derby champ, but we ain't going to count that. So, I mean, like I said, very, very similar. Devers has one more Silver Slugger, but Pete Alonso's been an All-Star way more times. I know a lot of that is fan voting. So, yeah, man, I mean, I hope it works out for Raffy. I hope things turn around. And I just want him, as corny as it sounds, to be happy, right? Guys like this, you don't see them as much in baseball. I feel like baseball, the personalities don't come out as much. And when personalities do come out, sometimes they get shunned because, hey, that's not how we play the game, things like that. The weird thing about Raffy is this ain't, I just saw, a clip about, let's take Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm, extremely polarizing. I think we had one conversation here about a possible Jazz Chisholm deal. And I don't even know if it was about him coming to San Francisco. We don't want Jazz, and that's not just Giants fans. A lot of people, you either love him or you hate him, but it's not even about bat flips with Raffy. It's about stuff that I think bothers organizations more than fans, right? You're not arguing about bat flipping. Hey, are you okay with playing first base? Are you a team player more so than, uh, oh, well, that disrespects the game in a certain way? And, hey, are you gonna, can we just sub you out? We're trying to get a pinch runner on and you're wagging your finger. So it's stuff like that that I think does rub fans the wrong way, but it's not as obvious as, okay, this guy's doing cartwheels around the bases after a home run. So I hope it works out for Raffy. That's where I'm at with it, because I don't see, I mean, if he goes on a crazy, crazy stretch next season to start, and he's been a slow starter, but if he gets off to a hot start, you could convince somebody that you need this first baseman, but he hasn't done that yet, at least not with the Giants. On the other side, we have a profile for you on Philip Abner, who the Giants just picked up off waivers. What could he bring to the table? More Locked On Giants coming up. Can we talk about one of the most underrated organs in your body? Your liver. It's your body's filter processing everything you consume and performing more than 500 functions every day. It's involved in things like energy production, digestion, fat metabolism, and vitamin storage. So it's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. That's why giving your liver daily support can be an important part of building healthy habits. Dose for Your Liver is a clinically backed liver health supplement designed to support daily liver function. Unlike another capsule or powder, Dose comes as a liquid 2-ounce daily shot that tastes like fresh squeezed orange juice. It's zero sugar, zero junk, and zero calories, making it an easy addition to your daily routine. I love that it lets me balance things out. You can balance games, travel, work, late nights, or a packed schedule, and it makes the routine simple. That's what matters to me. Dose being that quick 2-ounce shot that can become easily a part of your everyday routine is why I love it so much. Ready to give your liver the support it deserves? Head to dosedaily.co/LockedOnMLB or enter Locked On MLB to get 35% off your first subscription. Your body does so much for you. Let's do something for it. That's dosedaily.co/LockedOnMLB for 35% off your first month subscription. Last segment with you. Let's get to an addition that the Giants made. The Giants have claimed left-hander Philip Abner off waivers from the Diamondbacks and have optioned him to AAA Sacramento. That's from Maria Guadardo of MLB.com. Arizona designated him for assignment a few days ago, and the Giants have made some moves since then. He's 24 years old, has a limited big league track record thus far. He has thrown 18 innings with the Snakes, allowing 6 earned runs per 9. He has matching walk and strikeout rates of 13.4. Both poor figures. Yeah, that's not great. The Giants are presumably more intrigued by Abner's larger body of work in the minors. At the AAA level, he has thrown 40 2/3 innings with a 3.98 ERA, a 26.9% strikeout rate, an 8.2% walk rate. Abner still has a full slate of options, and the Giants had roster space to work with. So there's little harm in placing a claim and sending him to Sacramento. They can get a close-up look at him and see how it goes. So I think at this point, with the moves the Giants have made, you're hoping that one of these guys turns into something. I saw, like I said, Shea Whitcomb a couple days ago. Yeah, he looked fine. You're bouncing back and forth from AAA to the bigs, and you want to show everybody you're not that 4A guy. The Giants have had way too many 4A guys these last couple seasons. So somebody out there to show, yeah, no, I can play in the big leagues, and we can make this thing happen. So I don't know if that's going to happen with Philip Abner. He is somebody that was drafted in the 6th round in 2023 out of University of Florida. So if you're big on big name schools, and I don't know if they are quote unquote blue blood in baseball, but he's a lefty. He comes from University of Florida. He was drafted in the 6th round. He only was drafted in 2023. So there's still time for him to kind of, figure out who he's going to be as a pitcher in this league, and you can see why when you look at the pedigree, and when you look at the fact that he's lefty, and when you look at the fact that he is a fairly young 24 years old, turned 24 in May, you understand why the Giants definitely figured, hey, why not take a chance on him and see if he figures anything out and turns into anything, because his minor league numbers were so solid. So we haven't really seen it yet in the bigs, but hopefully, that's something that he is able to figure out in the near future. Thank you for watching Locked On Giants. Thank you for listening to Locked On Giants. Be sure to follow me on social media at _Styles Files, Styles with an I. For those of you on video, we say to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB. The Giants continue on here after getting a W that they needed. They have a chance to win the series. It's a morning game for them, and it'll be Landon Roop taking on Gavin Williams. So we'll see Landon Roop sitting all the way at 7-12. We know that he's looking to bounce back, and Gavin Williams at 11-7. So we'll see who is able to win that series and just stack up some victories and some good vibes for the Giants. We will talk to you tomorrow. Until then, peace.